Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 243rd edition of Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Megalopolis, which opened in the US on September 27th, 2024. It was written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola himself. It is an epic/drama, I guess. IMDb wanted to say sci-fi, which I don't disagree with, but also not the first thing that came to mind for me, so I left that out. The synopsis says, the city of New Rome faces the duel between Caesar Catalina, a brilliant artist in favour of a utopian future, and the greedy mayor, Franklin Cicero. Between them is Julia Cicero, with her loyalty divided between her father and her beloved. Wow, where to start? Liam, what did you think of Megalopolis?
No, yeah, like obviously I knew it would be kind of baffling because of the the reception, but it was just like kind of baffling in ways I didn't expect. Like the story is very kind of choppy, it gives you kind of whiplash how it kind of moves through the bigger kind of event in it. And the writing is very, like the dialogue is very, sometimes it's really literal, and then sometimes they're like, kind of doing Shakespeare, like waxing philosophical. So the phrasing is constantly kind of awkward. So yeah, it's just kind of like a fever dream. Except it's not always entertaining, I guess. But I mean, I like some parts of it are fine, I guess. So like some of the Roman stuff is like I like certain characters. I think certain actors brought a lot. I think Shia LaBeouf was pretty great. I think Aubrey Plaza was pretty entertaining. The bigger kind of ideas, I don't know if it really comes together at any point. Maybe momentarily for a few points, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Summed it up. I don't even really know either. I think expectations are important going into this, and I think mine were in the right place of expecting something bizarre and unconventional. But yeah, I agree. Like even in the ways it does that, it was kind of surprising. I guess I'm right there with you, Fizzy. Really, like I'm also still on this tightrope of like how much of the film can I appreciate in Francis's intentions to take a big swing and go wild with something unique, versus also not just gaslighting myself into believing that a lot of it isn't really bad. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of right on that tightrope right now, where there's going to be some things I fall one way or the other on, I think, as we sort of break it down. But yeah, it is. I must say, like, I don't want to give it. That's what I'm saying. I'm really close between giving it too much credit and it just being like, no, this is just, what is this? But like, it is an interesting conversation starter, I have to say. And I don't know, like in this terms of trying to understand how much value we place on the intent behind a piece of art over our own personal enjoyment, there's going to be a lot of wrestling with that for me probably in this discussion. So hopefully I can come to some sort of closer verdict. But fascinating experience. I'll just say that for sure. Fever dream is a great way to put it, Fitzy. I agree. Jaden, how was this fever dream for you when you finished it at 2 a.m.? Because what a time to finish this.
Exactly, literally exactly on your path. And I wasn't expecting to stand so much with you guys. I thought, but like, I mean, I guess that kind of speaks to the experience of the film, where like, I genuinely don't know if I could say anything about it critically without a second watch. But not that I want to jump into a second watch anytime soon. I just feel like I missed so much of it because there's so much at play at like so many points and as Liam said, it changes the cadence. That like I feel like I'm missing something, and I feel like I just didn't understand the film enough to enough in any extent to really warrant being able to give any comments of value, I guess, because I just feel like I guess immediately I just felt so lost because you kind of thrust onto these characters and in this world without very much of a conversation at all, which I thought was at first like an issue, but then it kind of maintains that kind of pacing. It kind of maintains this, very loose kind of introduction of characters and ideas, and it just keeps on pushing through it. So I thought, if that's intentional, then am I missing what it's needing? And I guess that's kind of like the story of my whole experience with the film was like, is that the intent? Is it not? Am I missing it, or is it bad? Like you said, I guess. Yeah, I know. I guess he really stumped me. Is where I left it.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's baffling. Maybe this is less of a review and more of just like a first like a raw reaction, like trying to come to terms with Megalopolis in some way. Because I agree with you in terms of the critical thinking. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's stuff here that I'm just not going to appreciate or not going to understand entirely. But then also without trying to give it too much credit at the same time. You know what I mean? It's hard. There's definitely some of that in this film, though. I thought a good way to do this might be to start with some big questions and then sort of hone in from there. So I'm just gonna put this out there. Liam, do you think this movie is coherent?
I think it's like semi-coherent because I think it kind of sticks to the same themes at least, and I don't know what Adam Driver's talking about when he talks about time, consciousness, and courage, but at least it's like a running thread that he has. But I don't know, semi-coherent, yeah.
Okay. But this I guess that specific section of the movie you're talking about where it's the movie's getting all philosophical and Adam Driver has quite a few monologues in the film about all these huge ideas and shit. And it's just like that stuff's going over my head for sure. And I'm just kind of like, those are the moments that probably confuse me the most of like, is this movie too big brain for me? And but genuinely, where if I rewatch this 3 times, could I see something in these portions of the movie? Possibly. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt in that sense. But I also have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, half the time, to be totally honest with you. And then by the time you get to the end and the message sort of just feels like it's distilled, jumping all the way to the end, and when the final message is distilled in that final, what do you call it, tablet, the final text we get where the kids all read it, and it's just and the message is just let's all live in harmony, essentially. And it's just wait, so was that all he was talking about the whole time? You know what I mean? I can't tell if it's so simple, but that can't have been it the whole time, right? Is kind of what I'm saying. I don't understand what the fuck he was on about.
Yeah, I think having an understanding of the Roman context probably helps. Which obviously, I had none. I know not much about that shit. But then even when after the end of the film, and I was reading up a little bit about it, and the conflict between Caesar and the other bloke, the Roman story that Lawrence Fishburne tells us doesn't seem to have that much of an implication on their conflict. So I also felt lost between kind of that
drawing that parallel.
Yeah, and just in speaking of coherence, I feel like the whole Roman allegory that I was using wasn't coherent.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I didn't understand really the whole conflict between Cicero is Giancarlo Esposito, right?
Yeah,
I know I just said it in the synopsis. I didn't really get that whole it's basically the main part of the movie, I guess. I just don't. I don't know. Like, okay, I guess we're told he's greedy. The synopsis tells me he's greedy. Adam Driver's an arc. Like, I feel like I don't understand the conflict between these characters, and I don't really understand why it's sort of resolved at the end. I don't really. I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I was struggling with that the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Because I was trying, because it starts off with such a it feels like Driver's meant to be like a political opponent to Cicero,
Right.
but then every kind of time it's mentioned to his characters no, I'm not, and then he literally never does run for mayor. Which that itself ends with the Roman story of because Catalina was planning a coup against Cicero. So I guess this is an alternate history version where Catalina and Cicero's where the coup does blossom into a friendship or something like that. It's yeah, I don't know. I guess that kind of speaks to coherence as well. It's just the character drivers didn't feel
no pun intended.
Yeah.
Character driver. Yeah, no, I agree. I was just I feel like I was constantly being told how much they hate each other or how much they're rivals or whatever, and I just didn't understand any actual situation in the story that was really pitting them against each other, other than that awkward first scene where they're standing around on the scaffolding, and I'm just I didn't even know why they're standing up there on the scaffolding. First of all, that was just weird. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was just the whole thing was baffling, and then by the end, I think it was meant to be some sort of reconciliation. Look at how we can work together. The family unites at the end in that final shot and stuff, and it's just I don't really understand. So I had enough trouble understanding why they were opposed to each other, really, other than Giancarlo goes on rants about how much he hates this guy. And then I had enough time with that, let alone understanding why that they're cool now at the end. I guess
Megalopolis, baby Francis, and Francis is the future.
Is it? Yeah, right. Is that it? For real? Because I understand the kid having that little baby move in the final shots. Let's look to the future generations. You know what I mean? I get the symbolism. Cool. Is that literally it? There's a baby now, so let's. Nothing happens in the story to justify this.
Yeah.
Well, their original conflict with each other is it makes sense on a literal level. The mayor wants to build functional stuff now, and Caesar wants to build massive utopian buildings. So it's literally just a it's just a political division that they have. But I guess what doesn't make sense is, like you said, the synopsis says that Cicero is greedy, but he's not that well characterized in terms of greed. I mean, maybe he has a greed for power or something, and I mean that scene where he kind of that scene where he's "Don't call me that" or something on the scaffolding, like you said, that was hilarious. But
yeah, it was.
But yeah, I guess you're right. It's not. I don't understand, what happened in the development of the story to change their relationship. I guess.
No.
Yeah.
The only point where the story, I don't get me wrong, I was still confused as fuck during this part too. But I felt at least there was some plot happening that was actually cause and effect, making shit happen. Was when Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf, plot. This is only in the third act too. Plotted to take over the bank.
Yeah.
That was still all weird. Don't get me wrong, but at least I felt there was characters were causing shit to happen. In a causal chain of events that sort of I could follow basically. Outside of that, yeah, it was. I agree with you. It was weird with those two main characters. Adam Driver's also
the conflict. Sorry. The conflict was, so we're told that Cicero's greedy.
Yeah.
But then the conflict that seems to emerge is that he's trying to fix the present while Catalina's trying to fix the future. And then is the resolution at the end is that Francis is a symbol of both, a future generation that is now like the future generation is now kind of thing. It's like the only kind of way that they can meet for that conflict resolution at the end, I guess, or something like that. But it just seems
It's
like
like a balance between the two.
Yeah.
So what in that sense is Megalopolis coming to fruition as a vision, coming to, you know, becoming a reality at the end? Is that sort of represent that as well? Like, it's not just an ideal, it's not just a vision, it's not just an ideal. I can just full stop that. You know what I mean? Like it become, you know what I mean? As opposed, and it's also not Cicero's like building apartments or whatever. Like it is. Is he saying like we need to do shit now? Like it's
well,
like climate change. Is that what this shit is?
It is quite an interesting conversation that does need to be had because Catalina calls Cicero a slumlord for wanting to build apartments, but Cicero is definitely in the right in that like a means needs to be met in regards to housing, in regards to a housing crisis. Like these are very real world issues and discussions that are happening.
Sure,
and it's like it's like addressing those, but like Catalina's right in that like rapid apartment development does create slums, but then the alternative is letting people live on the street, and you're kind of stuck in this conversation of what's worse. And like you see throughout history, like whenever these projects do go up, like they often get torn down within 30 years because the outcome is that they do create slums. So like Pruitt Ego is like one of the most famous ones of those if you want to find out about that. So like it kind of feels like Driver is technically in the right, but like Cicero's position about people are suffering right now is it like once again like that doesn't feel like a greedy trait, you know?
No,
that we're told about.
No.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Well, maybe in that sense is the film, I guess, a reflection on like those examples you've pointed out of like where we see where these things, they're short term, they're necessary short term, and then we see where they end up long term. Is the film sort of advocating for like bigger swings in I don't know, in infrastructure, I guess, in government, in, you know what I mean? Like, is that what Megalopolis, like as a concept and it happening in the end, like, is that what it's all about? Like, instead of falling into these traps that seem short term helpful, but you know, we know with history repeating itself, we understand that these things don't play out as they should long term, or have issues or whatever. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think even like just to bring up a local example, like to understand it a bit better, is like the kind of, you know, those council flats in Melbourne that are currently getting torn down.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what they are. Like they were created to meet the means of housing, but obviously we know how bad Melbourne's unhoused like an issue is.
Caesar, I mean, not to go back to the quote, like too much, but like Caesar's thing is time, courage, and consciousness, right? So like long-term thinking, courageous projects, and the elevation of consciousness through art, through like good architecture and like things that people can admire, you know.
Yeah,
I guess that is his kind of vision.
That's well put. And I guess, and would you say as a result, like that has to sort of be what the movie's message is, right? I guess. Does Francis think he's achieving this by making this highbrow art?
Yeah, well, like the whole like plotting thing, like the corrupt side, with like Shia LaBeouf and you know, Aubrey Plaza and all those people, like it feels like Caesar's. I mean, Caesar's like the idealistic person throughout the whole film, and he kind of weathers everyone's corruption, or like everyone's focus on the now, I guess. I don't know. I was trying to like weld that part in, but I'm not sure if that fully. I mean, it's kind of just a broad thing about corruption, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if there was much more to that thing, kind of.
What? So, like, wasn't the bank in both their pockets? Like, they're both corrupt because, like, obviously it's Catalina's uncle, but then he seems to be pretty chummy with Cicero.
With Caesar. Oh wait, what?
John Voight seems to be buddies with Giancarlo.
Cicero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Maybe.
I don't know, like in terms of like greed as well, which they talk about often. Maybe that's nothing thread. Don't worry.
No, yeah, yeah.
Did you guys like? What do you think about Aubrey Plaza's character? Was she like spurned by like jealousy the whole film, or was she like just already kind of like that? Like, are you supposed to read into
Oh god, good question.
how Caesar kind of affected her, which led to the whole corruption subplot?
Maybe.
Well,
I can't say.
When asked about where to get her name, she says that she chose it on like the way to a class or some shit. So I think like it kind of doesn't it indicate like there's always been this kind of like upward drivenness of her character, and like Catalina was like Caesar was like a easy rung in the ladder, but like that's exactly what it was. Like he was a tool towards success for her, and then she just found it like another way.
Yeah, I like that.
Because like she even talks to Caesar about like her failing numbers. Like she's conscious of like her faltering position in society already.
Yeah.
In that first conversation, and she's looking to fix it. Like I don't think she's spurned by being burned by him. I just think that she is like a cutthroat kind of.
But she loves him. She said she loves him, and he was like,
body.
There was so little of that, I didn't believe it at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was meant to, but it was like just that one scene where she basically just wanted to go down on him, where it's like, okay, you know what I mean? That
wasn't
whole
one
the whole
scene.
thing.
No, like they met later, and she was pissed about it too. And I feel like it makes sense that she's on a revenge quest with Shia LaBeouf also being on a revenge quest. They basically both want to be Caesar, or want to be with him. Like okay. Shia LaBeouf doesn't. Shia LaBeouf wants him for his talent and his kind of appeal. And I think Plaza wants him for other reasons. Yeah, I think it's there enough. I mean, maybe it's one of those parts of the film that it wasn't communicated well, but
yeah, I definitely didn't understand LaBeouf's. What was his name? Claudio.
Oh, yeah, God.
Cloud. Live reaction slug guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just when you just mentioned him, Fitzy, you alluded to like something motivating him. What was that to you?
Oh, I said like his like talent and his like appeal, I guess. Well, he said he's always been jealous of him, right? Since he was like 6.
Yeah.
Maybe just because of his like good nature or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Is this some kind of allegory for the Coppola family? Because they're all related and they all know each other.
Yeah.
Is Francis the banker and like he has to choose between like 2 of his like nephews and nieces or type shit, and then like all their little siblings that are bitching and that stuff. Is this the Coppola family?
Oh, he did talk about like the spoiled granddaughters, you know.
Yeah.
And there are some granddaughters there that. What's the other Coppola that makes films? Gia.
Yeah. Is one of these meant to be Gia? Or is one of them meant to be like Nick Cage and shit? Like and Schwartz, like he's actually a Coppola as well, isn't he?
Well.
Jason.
Yeah. He is. Yeah.
Dude, this is about family.
It goes deep, bro.
And that's why the baby is named after him, because he is not he's not the patriarch. He is he is the future. You know, Francis.
So Francis is John Voight shooting Aubrey Plaza in the heart with a fucking arrow.
Yeah, who does Francis hate that tried to weed their way into the family?
Who was the one in-law that tried to, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Get her hands on the on the fortune that he's shot down. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Did Nicolas Cage? Who was his wife? Does he have a wife?
I don't know. Maybe it
Who
was
died
Spike,
mysteriously.
Spike Jones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do Spike. Maybe there's still some hatred for Spike. I could see that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. He kicked him out of the family quick smart when he was plotting. Oh man. So okay. So I don't know if I should do this. There's a lot of interesting trivia about the making of this movie, but is Shia from a political point of view, Claudio, whatever, is he meant to represent? Like, I don't know. I was just seeing some of these rallies, and I'm like, is he meant to be Trump or something? I don't know. I don't know if that's a stretch, but just like the way he was behaving at times.
There was something there. Wasn't he talking to someone with like a red hat when they were in the kind of in front of the building that was like taken down?
That's the main scene I was thinking of.
The gates. Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe not even Trump necessarily, but I don't know. I felt like there was something like, I feel like he was drawing some sort of parallel with this character trying to make have a political.
It was like
campaign.
populism, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought that scene was, I mean, as just many moments in this movie that are just entertaining in a bizarre way. Like, we haven't even really gotten into that side of it yet, but like, that scene was funny when Shia LaBeouf just started like screaming at the guy to shut the fuck up, like up on the megaphone. I enjoyed that.
Oh, right,
yeah. I enjoyed Shia LaBeouf a lot in this movie. I will just say overall while we're talking about him, he felt like he knew what he was in. I mean, I think everyone surely had to know what they were in. Like, how can you not? But he really felt like he was having fun.
I actually like the shot where he like walks through the. Does he walk through the bank?
Yeah, and he's like, pick up my hat. Pick up my hat.
It's a metaphor. Yeah.
That was like, that's the kind of example of like in that 10 seconds, it's entertaining. It's kind of a cool shot, and like it's clearly like that 10-second gag is about something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like everyone down the chain having to pick up each other's hats. Like that's
and the guy at the back has two hats. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of clever. I wish this movie, like, I don't know, I wish there was more of it, I guess.
But Zach, there probably was more of it, and we just didn't pick up on it.
But like, I feel like with Shia LaBeouf, all his scenes, they had a comedic kind of, undertone to them. Where, like in that scene, where you could buy into it more easily because, it was you knew it wasn't taking itself too well. Maybe it is taking itself seriously, but like you're able to not take it that seriously while you watch that, and also analyze it. I guess.
Yeah.
And Shia LaBeouf, I guess, does a lot to lean into that.
I just remembered that at the end, his character was literally strung up like Mussolini. So like, it's like he literally does like represent like fascism, like to an extent, doesn't he? Not to an extent, like he is like a representation of fascism.
I guess, yeah. Sure. Yeah. God, does he wait, is he blacklisted now? Like, does he not get jobs? Is he cancelled?
He was, but like I don't know if he still is.
I don't know if he's not, or if like Francis doesn't care, or if this movie was shot a few years ago.
No, because I think he's still got in a couple jobs.
Okay, all right. Maybe Francis kind of strikes me like not. I'm not saying.
Oh, he definitely doesn't care. He's good mates with like a famous rapist. I can't remember his name, but like the director of Jeepers Creepers is like a massive pedophile, like rapist, like undoubtedly proven. But like Francis still goes into bat for him.
Francis is. I mean, I don't even know about that, to be honest. But he strikes me as the kind of guy like at his age, like financing his own movies, where he just like he just hires who he wants in the movie. He doesn't give a shit about like all that industry stuff. You know what I
mean? No. But also, Francis is not like he's not.
Yeah. I'm not defending that part. I didn't really know that. Yeah, he. he was probably one of my highlights of the movie. I just made that comment to say that like I don't know, was Shia like having so much fun on screen because he knew this is like he doesn't get acting jobs anymore, so he was just like really trying to savor it. I don't know.
I mean, he's married to
Apparently.
Mia Goth, man. Like, I don't think he really cares what's going on.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. That was a bit of a conspiracy theory on my part. Adam Driver in this movie, hey. Let me just say this. How many times do you think he thought his career was over when he did it? When he did a certain scene or whatever?
This isn't like a. This is a work with a master type movie. This isn't really a worry about your career movie, you know.
Maybe. I don't know. There were a couple of things that in there where I'm like, I don't know. I'd be worried about my career personally. Hopefully, like maybe he has a better mindset, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Adam Driver was okay. I just think, I don't know. I mean, maybe he said it. Maybe everything was there to understand the character. Like everything was laid out, but I feel like there was some distance, between us and the character that we didn't fully get into his mind. But like when I'm saying that, like there were a lot of monologues and a lot of kind of reflection on his past and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of the bigger parts of the film that's kind of like a meh, just like Caesar in general and Adam Driver's performance.
Yeah, big
I
time.
mean, I think it was good, but yeah, I don't know.
I haven't. Oh, this is the whole intentionality thing coming back because it's like I can't say he was good. I don't think anything he did, anything he brought to it specifically was like. I don't know if he was making bad. I can't say he was making bad choices or anything. He was clearly directed in a certain way. It's just like okay. Okay, look, I guess this conversation kind of covers all the performances in the movie, though. Are there performances in this movie that you would say are bad? Because that's kind of hard to answer.
I think Natalie's on the weaker side, but I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she wasn't great. Yeah.
I think it's a tough one because I think the actors seem directed in different ways depending on the scene. Where like often it feels like kind of slapsticky, but then like it is kind of just interrupted with this like lengthy burst of like I don't know seriousness.
Yeah, agreed.
So like it's kind of difficult to tell because it's at ends with each other like often.
Yeah. Whenever they get,
I think more often than not, they are doing as intended to.
Yeah. I agree, and that's what makes it hard. Because traditionally, I think like most of the performances in this movie are pretty bad, but they're clearly Francis is making something here that commands these performances clearly. So it's like I don't know. I guess the way I heard someone else describe it this way, and that is like the performances are in a different key, like musically, and that's kind of the best way I've heard it described. Where it's like I don't know if I can say they're bad. They're just on such a different wavelength to anything I conventionally would consider to be good that it's just hard for my small brain to compute, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there might be something to say there about like this sort of like theatricality that all the characters have. Like, I never feel like I don't feel like any of them are true characters, or I don't feel like I fully understand any of them. But at the same time, they're kind of theatrical beings. You know, they're kind of false characters, and they make sense as those people.
Yeah. In that sense, does the movie being a fable like that sort of feels appropriate, I guess? It feels appropriate in multiple ways, actually. But
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like that. It helps contextualize it a little bit, anyway.
There are no down moments. There are no real moments. It's like as Jaden said, it's either kind of like slapsticky, like there's like a back and forth between two characters that's kind of like witty or whatever, or it's like super serious. So it's kind of like they're always performing, and that's how they're not like real people. They're more like creations. They're more like artificial characters.
Yeah. Well said.
I think it's what is there to say that Fishburne, who's a driver for Catalina, I don't remember his name. I don't remember Fishburne's character name. Something like that. Like that he is the narrator, and like,
right.
I don't know about the characters that he sees in his life. I don't know. Like is the narration is the narration him responding to what he sees, or is it like a meta thing where it's just like narration that punctuates the movie? Like what level is the narration meant to work on? Does that make sense?
I guess you could argue that it's like, because he's like an observer. He's like involved. He's intertwined with all these characters in some capacity. I guess I don't know. I would also argue that Francis just wanted Lawrence Fishburne's voice to be the narrator because he's got a sick voice. So I guess on multiple levels it makes sense. But yeah, I like his observations of like what's happening around, like in that side of the characters, like larger in the city and stuff. So he's a driver. I guess that's kind of interesting.
Driver.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like he observes how the city's crumbling or whatever. Okay. I mean, what you were saying earlier, Fitzy, resonated with me in terms of the movie sort of having two gears, if you will, of the serious and then the comedy, entertaining dialogue exchanges. To me, basically, any time the movie got into that gear, the latter of like characters just sort of talking and going back and forth, I actually thought it was pretty entertaining. I was pretty into it. It was bizarre in a fun way, of just like some of the things that they were saying to each other and doing, and like I don't know, it was just kind of like it was slapsticky. I felt like I was watching something comedically thoughtful at times there. But then, yeah, I guess when it gets into the serious stuff, like, I don't know, there's like there's that whole sequence in the movie where there's like the whole goddamn, I guess you'd call it a montage or whatever the hell it was, with like the gymnasts next to Adam Driver's, like, I don't know what the hell he was happening to him. Something.
Yeah.
Like shaking around and shit. And I'm just like, that shit was just boring as fuck. I don't know what the hell I was watching. You know what I mean? And then there's all this like narration over like, I don't know. It was just confusing.
Well, that was the most like experimental-ish like the film kind of got, because even with the other serious parts, it's usually just like a monologue or someone saying some shit. But here it was like this whole trance kind of sequence, which like the film didn't really do a lot, because like the film didn't do that kind of thing. It only did that kind of thing periodically. Like the film was mainly just like filled with a lot of dialogue. So that was kind of the weirder part. That was one of the weirdest parts of the film, because it was like a total, another gear change, but in a different kind of dimension, So, yeah.
Yeah. And then, it wasn't the gear change. It wasn't one I was into, really. But yeah, even outside of, you're right about that being very experimental. I guess even outside of that, even just when it is serious, like when the characters are just sort of being more serious, chatting, it's pretty boring. I found the whole sequence when like, is her name Natalie? Sorry, Nathalie. What's her name? What's
the character or the actress?
The actress.
I think the actress is just Natalie, no?
When that whole sequence where like she's following Adam Driver. Sorry, I was trying for the character name. When she's following Adam Driver in the car and like uncovering like I had no idea what was going on, dude. I was like he goes and sees his dead wife in the bed he sees or something. Buys her flowers. And, dude, I was like, that's an example of the movie trying to be like, I think, trying to have some like intrigue that was just totally boring, and I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't really understand the wife stuff either. Like, other than like the basic like, she seems to have killed herself, and he got blamed for the death, and then
Right?
or whatnot.
Yeah.
What's the implication on the character, on the bearing of the story?
Is it that he's like
Megalon.
perceived unfairly, and that's like a barrier to him being able to like?
I mean, I guess that's probably like since Cicero was the DA on that, would that not be like the start of the bad blood? Or did Cicero already hate him, and that's why he was so like gunning for him to be?
Oh yeah, true.
To be done.
Yeah, that's only another element to it that doesn't. Yeah, there's still questions there. It doesn't really explain the start of it.
Well, didn't he say he kind of? I mean, didn't he say he kind of drove her to like, to into her issues? I guess like because he was like, I don't know. Too
Yeah, he said he took her like, yeah.
Maybe. So wait, is the idea that Cicero was trying to make that case in court, but it was untrue? But like that's his job as district attorney is to prosecute, and it's like obviously Adam Driver sees that as unfair. I guess, but then I don't know. I still don't know why then he would personally hate Cicero. Oh wait, no, the other way, Caesar. I don't know why Cicero would personally hate Caesar. Still.
Yeah, I think maybe at that point, because doesn't that go back to like the whole Megalon thing? Because like that was already in development when his wife died, right? It's like, did Cicero have a reason to try and like push against the invention of a new material in favor of like concrete and steel as like a, because he has an investment in that or some shit.
Sabotage it politically, yeah. That could be. I don't think the film ever explained that, but I maybe in these long monologues I was zoning out of.
It was either he or John Voight says, concrete and steel is trustworthy.
Yeah, that's right. One of the many times that characters just repeat words.
Actually, wasn't that Dustin Hoffman?
Was it?
It was.
One of his side guys.
Yeah. I think it was. I think it was Hoffman. I think. Yeah, God. Man. Yeah. See, this is, I don't know, when Adam Driver has the scene where he's all bandaged up on the face and he shouts, "No, like you can't try and convince me that's like this is a good performance." That's
but like that goes. That's kind of like the Dead Don't Die effect, where people criticize like the performances in Dead Don't Die because they misunderstand the intent of the film. Where like,
right.
I remember when I think I was still using IMDb at that point, but like so many of the reviews were like, "Oh, it's so obvious that none of the actors give a shit because like they're all like wooden performances, or like they're all like so deadpan," like as if that wasn't like in like the explicit direction of the thing. So I don't once again, like when he's bandaged up and he's doing that, I don't think you can call that bad, because I think that was the kind of the intent to seem kind of off kilter in that scene, you know.
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with you, but it's also just like, I think fundamentally then we have to go back to, I think we have to have, and we do have, conventions in narrative storytelling for a reason, because they work.
Because they're meant to be broken, Zach. Make the
that's one thing. I don't know. Are they? Like, maybe in certain ways, but like, is Adam Driver shouting "no, no, no"? Is that me not understanding the intent and all this, or is it like it's just Francis? Sure, Francis is doing it on purpose, but it's bad that you're doing it on purpose because we understand it just doesn't work fundamentally. It's like the same thing we were trying to explain. We're like, when we're back all the way back at the start with goddamn understanding the motivations of why Cicero and Caesar don't like each other. It's like maybe Francis can make some argument of how he's trying to break the wheel or whatever. And it's like, but bro, we have conventional narrative storytelling of understanding beat to beat, getting invested in characters, understanding their motivations, because it works. And trying to break it for the sake of breaking it doesn't make it good or interesting necessarily.
Well, I think the significance of him losing his eye is that he's a visionary. You know, he sees into the future.
Oh,
So
okay.
like losing his eye is like losing half his perception of the future. You know.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting.
I do agree. Like that scene is it didn't really do anything for me, I guess.
Right, like isn't this is what I'm saying? Like, even if you're trying to challenge convention, like I don't know, shouldn't this shit still make me feel a certain way, other than just confused or weirded out? Isn't that the point of this art?
See, no, in no other cinema effect review would you ask such deep questions. Megalopolis is really.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, and I'm like, I'm not saying that's an invalid argument. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just simply trying to pose these questions of just like, just because, like, is that a good thing? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I think that moment could have worked if it was like, if it was just a bit different. I think the actual delivery of that is really awkward, and it's like they're kind of making him seem just like too crazy at that point after he loses his eye.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And in a way that doesn't really make sense for the narrative either, really. As I understand it.
But I think
he gets it back though, like because of Megalon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe you're right. It happens so quick at the end, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the last shot, I'm pretty sure he has both eyes, right?
Yeah. I think he does. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he was. Yeah. But like, I think the unconventional kind of like there could have been an unconventional payoff there with him losing his eye and the kind of the symbolism of that and stuff. Yeah,
sure.
The execution isn't really there.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if Francis' whole intent with this movie was to like have everyone walk out and just like us like sit here and have a deep conversation about the way we perceive what is good and what is not in art, and like I think he fucking nailed that shit. I just don't know. I don't know if that was the intent. If it was, then congratulations. Because that's exactly what we're doing. I listened to an interview with him, and he had an interesting comment that I think is true. But it's just interesting trying to apply it to this film. In that, in determining if a performance is good or bad in a film, that it's so much more about the whole rest of the movie and how well it works, as opposed to the individual performance, because movies are illusions, is the way he described it. So, for example, he gave the example that in an initial cut, he test screened of The Godfather Part 2. This isn't going to resonate with Jaden, obviously, but in an initial screening of The Godfather Part 2 with a test audience, they didn't like the movie and they thought the performances were terrible because the pacing of how they had in the first cut, the back and forth they did between the two storylines was paced differently, apparently. So, therefore, it just changed the way the whole illusion was functioning for the audience, is how Francis described it. Therefore, the audience saw the performances as bad because of all these other intangible elements making up the experience of what that cut was. But then fast forward to the cut we have now, and I don't think anyone would say, maybe Jan, would say that the performances are bad in The Godfather Part 2, right?
Yeah, the performance is bad, no.
I'll cut that. So
I said I don't think the performance is bad.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said sorry. I didn't hear that. Anyway, so my point is that I think that's an interesting point in that are the performances bad, or if you reshuffle all this into a different functioning flow of a edit of an everything, of a score, of a, you know what I'm saying, of visuals, of everything, and you have the exact same performances, is there something good there? You know what I mean? I think it's an interesting thing to bring up, but again, sorry, I'm raising these I don't know the fucking answer to. I'm just like, I don't know. Does that make the performances not bad? Is there a world where Megalopolis is re-edited and the performances are good? Maybe?
Mm.
I can't say no for sure. But I also agree with Jay in that, like, every time Nathalie was in a scene with Adam Driver, it wasn't very convincing. I can say that.
Yeah, I think she was too normal, I guess. I think everyone else was a bit more, like, campy, I guess. Like, they went into it a bit more.
Yeah, even Adam Driver, like, he was walking around, like, just twirling in scenes for no reason, doing all that kind of shit. Like, he's doing all these quirky body movements. You know what I mean?
Wait, was he? I think I remember him doing that once or twice. But...
Oh, I don't want to say like he did it all the time, but he definitely did it, enough for me to, yeah, it was noticeable. This one time he did like one of these ones, like for no reason, he just went. I was like, what? And that wasn't even that's not even counting the whole montage sequence where he's like actually jittering around. Like, but that's like meant to be some sort of weird fever dream sequence. Like he was just walking in a room and he did that.
It's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
What?
I don't know, man. I talked myself out of that thread so fast and I just lost it.
Oh. Oh man. I
think Adam Driver does portray like Catalina, like is depicted like it's a funny parody on like kind of architects, particularly star architects. Like towards the end when you see him like with all those people posing and like that's where he's like generating his shapes from and stuff. As like this like I don't know, as a kind of derivation of like what the famous architects do these days. I mean, it's not too far off what some of them do, but I mean, it's like, the very top 0.1% that have anything similar to that process, But that was fun anyway.
So, but
what
what
is
it? Yeah.
Is it parodying it or is it like?
That's what I was going to say.
Is it endorsing that kind of artistic, visionary character?
I mean, I think it's like it can be both. Like you can be endorsing it and parodying it at the same time, because I don't know, it's played to a comical effect, but like, I don't know. There is value in the practice of like deriving shape from organic forms, but
and everything isn't. I mean, the vision that he has is like it's basically like all like natural shapes, like there's like nature, it's like no hard lines, right? It's like everything's like flowing, and his inspiration. Didn't they have a line like nature is the best inspiration or something like that? Yeah.
Something like that.
But like, is that like in architecture? Is there, because like when I think of architectural achievements, they're still very kind of shapely and like structured. And is there anything like that's like that mimics nature really well in terms of like big architectural, like monuments or anything?
Yeah, plenty of it does, but like it's not so literal. Like you have like I don't know, like I mean, like there's a building in Melbourne that is based on Beyonce's body, but like you wouldn't realize that. Looking at it at first.
That's near Southern Cross, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like what's the other famous ones? I know there's was it Lloyd Wright or was it the other guy? I can't remember. There's too many Franks. But like some of them, like they integrate. It's more about integration and kind of you derive or like you're not going to see it as literally as Caesar does in this film until we get a different building material, pretty much. But like taking inspiration from nature is very much a big part of architecture, and it has been implemented in lots of famous works of architecture. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So do you like the design of Megalopolis?
Nah, it's bullshit.
I mean, I think the one scene in this film that I actually enjoyed on genuine, this is actually good level was like the like when he was having the visions of the future and went to like the black and white sketches, and they were like really detailed sketches, and it was like the 3 slides or whatever, but those were actually really like in depth. Those actually looked decent. Unlike everything else surrounding it, which had these like weird little like graphic, people walking around. Yeah, I think that was actually cool, but it was kind of brief, so I get it if that doesn't resonate with you guys. But yeah.
I must admit, I was very surprised when this movie started, and it felt immediately like network television. I don't know if you guys felt that way.
Oh yeah. Like that. I think that was like the most baffling kind of thing. Like especially in the earlier scenes, the quality of like the sets and the weird lighting was like, how is this $100 million or however much you?
I think it's 120.
Yeah. And like the venue, like the fashion show as well. Just anything with those like side characters that are like Nathalie's friends, or a lot of scenes with Nathalie in them are kind of, I don't know why, but they have that like no budget feel to them.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like to me, the biggest scene that had no budget feel was like one of the first ones when they're like, when you're sort of getting used to all the characters and they're on the street, like when that scene where like Adam Driver's detonating the building on the street and like they're all walking around like talking to each other and like the drive, in like the cars or whatever. I feel like I'm watching like CSI or some shit. It was fucking terrible. When you point out the way it was lit, I was like, Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah.
What was the point of the falling satellite that we get?
Oh, that was crazy. Didn't that like destroy the city or something? And then Adam Driver had to rebuild with, Megalon.
I don't know.
Did it? When did it destroy the city?
Did it destroy the city?
I don't.
Yeah, I got
did it do something? I feel like it did something.
Surely.
That's what I was talking about. I was like, did it do anything, or was it just like, I don't know?
I feel like there was a narrative jump when that happened, and like it had some kind of effect, which led to Cicero kind of having to reel back his like position a bit, his power, and like Caesar basically coming into power, and like Megalon was like needed after that happened, I think. So I don't know, like I don't actually know because I didn't say it or show it exactly, but
so that was meant to be a huge story beat then, I guess.
Yeah. Like, well, they hinted at the satellite earlier for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But when did it actually hit? Like after he was because like he gets shot in the face and then he goes to the bank, and like that's like the last 20 minutes of the film. Like does the asteroid hit? Like, sorry, does the satellite hit in that period? Like after he goes to the bank, like when his assets were frozen.
I can't remember when it was exactly. Maybe it was before that. Actually, he's out of the film for a bit. He's out of the film for a bit. But Jason Schwartzman is like, hey, this is going to hit. You know how it's going to hit this other area? Well, it's not. It's going to hit here.
No, but they said they don't know where it's going to hit. And then he was like, so basically we don't know until it does hit. But then did we ever actually see it hit?
I don't think we did see it hit, but I think it hit the city. I think that was what they were saying in that scene. Because like, why else would you mention this fucking satellite that's going to hit somewhere out of?
I don't know. Was ancient Rome hit by a meteor during Cicero and Catalina's time? Is it literal? And also, wasn't it like a Chinese satellite as well? Didn't it say CCP on it or something like that? Like, is that something to say?
I don't know. I'm just gonna look this up. Megalopolis. Did the satellite hit the city?
Gemini.
It's I thought it was Soviet. Soviet satellite crashes into the city of New Rome, causing destruction, which serves as a catalyst for the protagonist Caesar Catalina to begin building his vision of Megalopolis.
I missed that entire thing.
That sounds so important when you read it like that. I had no idea what happened.
That's what I said though. Like the satellite and the destruction it caused was the catalyst for Caesar to come to power with his.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh
my god.
But then, like, so I guess it happened off screen then. I guess because he didn't have budget or something.
Yeah. I mean,
but then like they definitely did not have like a strong enough indicator that a satellite hit the fucking city. Like I know they talk about it, but like after it actually happens, I don't know. Like, did they?
They did show some ruins, I think, at some point in like the background, but yeah, no, like I agree. Like this was the most. This was the biggest jump that the narrative took. Like when I was talking about how like choppy the film is, this is the biggest moment that they just kind of skip over. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it definitely is. It has to be the biggest, but yeah, it feels like the film sort of just like skips over so many little things just all the time. You know, going back to what we were saying about the character development and stuff. Just like speaking of why the film looks so bad, Francis Ford Coppola reportedly fired most of his visual effects team in December 2022, according to The Hollywood Reporter. He wanted to use visual technology similar to that was used on The Mandalorian, which is the volume, but the production shifted to more green screen effects because of mounting costs. Production designer Beth Mickle and supervising art director David Scott then reportedly left the production, leaving the film without an art department.
Wow.
I feel like this review is like Megalopolis with Fitzy Kid getting up and he's why. It's like, you know, it's like the bizarre.
I'm trying to get rid of the white on my face. Like it was just like. There we go. That's good now.
That's good now. Oh man. So, see, I actually appreciate the setting and the idea of the setting and elements of its execution at times is kind of cool. The whole New Rome. I like it. But it's like, man, some of that green screen looks so bad. It looks so bad. Like I
thought that was the intent, to be honest.
I don't think it was.
No, I thought that was the intent of watching it, but then later, when I read that he fired the visual effects team, I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I don't. Dude, that shot where they go up like the elevator on the side of the building and then stand on the top of the building with like the clock at the center or whatever that was.
Yeah, I like that aesthetically though. I'm not gonna lie. Very Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Very Bob
so
Rodriguez.
Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, like in terms of like the design, like the art elements of it. Like, sure, like the look of the clock or whatever.
No, I don't know. I like
the shit green screen.
Yeah, I genuinely like appreciate it feels staged. You know, it feels like a play.
Yeah, but does it change anything about that knowing it's not intentional?
And then you have like a matte background, but instead, obviously, like this background is CG created.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, it looks like I made it in Cinema 4D, bro. It looks so bad.
I can't imagine what he'd get out of the volume though. Like why he'd, like what, like why did he so desperately want that?
Yeah, no, I get it. He wanted to use it for those shots when they're standing on top of the buildings. Yeah,
but what benefit is that going to provide him?
Well, think of the Batman. The Batman's the same. Every shot when they're standing on top of that building and they meet up there is the volume. It looks much better than this.
Yeah, but had he not fired his fucking visual effects team and he just stuck with them, like it's going to achieve that same thing. He's going to have built the same. Yeah, possibly. He's going to have built the same amount of set, and then he'd have to use the same computer graphics, just applied differently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't say. I obviously can't tell you whether it would have looked better or worse. I mean, sorry, I'll take that back. It definitely would have looked better. We can't get much worse than what we got. But I don't know how much better or whatever. But yeah, I think so. I think we've sort of taken for granted throughout this review that like the knowledge that Francis Ford Coppola financed this entire thing himself, $120 million out of his own pocket. You know, that's sort of the main reason I wanted to watch it, to be honest. And Tim, he's a legendary filmmaker, paying for his own film. That takes huge balls, and I respect it a great deal. So it's worthy of my attention in that respect, I think. In terms of trivia here, I don't know if you guys know about how many incarnations this film is and how long it's been in development.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of insane. But Francis Ford Coppola wrote this script in the early 80s, which maybe gets rid of my Donald Trump parallel theory. I don't know, rewrites maybe, who knows. But the film was kept on the back burner partially due to his financial debts. Pre-production finally began in 2001 after filming 30 hours of second unit footage and holding a table read with Paul Newman, Uma Thurman, Robert De Niro, James Gandolfini, Nicolas Cage, Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, Edie Falco, and Kevin Spacey. But the project was scrapped after 9/11 because a scene from the script apparently predicted the attacks. Okay. He fully abandoned the project in 2007 and began developing it again in 2019. In the beginning of 2022, Zendaya, Kate Blanchett, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Caan, and Jessica Lange, I don't know, were announced as starring in the lead roles, and they all dropped out and were replaced by this cast.
Would Zendaya be Aubrey Plaza? Or
No, Zendaya would definitely be
Nathalie Emmanuel.
Yeah, and Kate Blanchett would be Aubrey Plaza, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this film's gone through a lot of iterations. I must say the cast is actually impressive that he's put together here. It's kind of crazy that he got this many people. I mean, I guess that's just the power of his name, I guess, to get this many people.
John Boy's on a shit list these days, so he's not really hard to get.
Is he cancelled?
No, he's just like super right wing, isn't he?
I don't know. He's also like 87 years old. Like, give the man a break. You know what I mean? 87-year-old man is right wing. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I found that very fascinating. This film's had like every A-list cast on the planet and still ended up with a pretty solid cast in and of its own right, albeit with every single role swapped out 4 times. But
yeah,
went through the generations.
Sure did. Yeah.
What was the other film that we're looking at? Oh, Benjamin Button had like a similar thing.
Yeah. Not quite to this extent, but yes, definitely. Oh man, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess there's more and more random moments we could like point out. Oh, actually, the fourth wall break moment. That was clearly here in this movie. I've read that apparently, like in the original version, like because you know how in our version it's like framed as like being it, like we're watching it in a cinema, which was weird. But like, I guess that's. I read that like apparently the interviewer who has the question, like in the original theatrical version, like the actor is meant to get up and say the line. So like there's no in the film there's no one saying that question.
Yeah,
originally.
Remember I told you that my friend that works at IMAX, he had to go into the theater during that scene. Yeah. And like a spotlight shines on like the actual employee and they they just mouth the lines.
But you made it. Hang on, but aren't you saying the opposite? Aren't you saying that they mouth the lines?
Yeah.
But the lines still come through the speaker?
Yes.
I'm saying that I read in original versions, and maybe they've changed it multiple times. In original versions, there is no line in the movie. Like in the Cannes version or whatever, like in the original.
Yeah, that's because at Cannes they can probably afford to pay someone, but they're not paying like the IMAX employees to like say it every time.
Yeah, that's right. That's
like
right.
They just have to go in there and do a shit performance, you know.
That's why it's such a flawed idea to begin with. But
I think it's really cool.
Oh man, I think it would have been cool if you were at Cannes and got to watch it the first time. Having someone come up and mouth the lines is just like, what's the point of that? I don't know. I feel like I was hoping that I'd come to some sort of better conclusion, but I think this thing's over. I think we're done. I'm not going to edit this at all because I feel like it's better. It's like our raw like coming to terms with Megalopolis. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck was that? Okay, let's try and get to our quote-unquote final verdicts of Megalopolis. Jaden, make you go first.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like, I think a 5 is a cop-out because I don't actually feel mid about the movie. I just still don't know how I feel about the movie, you know? It's kind of like a... It's kind of like
refrain from rating it.
Sorry?
Are you going to refrain from rating it?
Well, that's what I was going to do, but then I thought you'd probably shoot me if I do that.
I feel like this, I don't know.
Warrants it?
Maybe.
But then, like, at the same time, like, I don't know if I'll ever rewatch this to try and, like, come to terms with it.
No.
So it's like, maybe I do just need to get a rating now and just be done with it. So, we'll keep... no. Oh, fuck. I'll give it a 6. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Instead of you went the positive way.
I enjoyed it enough that my confusion can be.
Okay. All right. Christ. I will give it a 4 because I appreciate Francis putting his money on the line, trying to break something, trying to make something that breaks convention, brings something different to the table, and it works in an entertaining way in moments. When these actors can just do stupid stuff and goofy stuff, it's pretty entertaining at times. But he also made a story that flows awfully and breaks every narrative convention that we've established over the past hundreds of years in a way that's not satisfying and just confusing and so that part didn't pay off. So I'll give it a 4, sure. Why not? Liam?
Yeah, I'll give it a 5. I mean, despite it being kind of, nutty, there were definitely a lot of parts I was just kind of disinterested in, especially in the second half. Yeah, I'll stick with 5.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into news chat. You guys watched the FNAF 2 trailer, Jane. This is your favorite franchise, so what do you think? Is your favorite kid actress coming back?
Was she? I don't think I saw her in the trailer.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking out for her.
No, she was. No, she was. I think she was. I think there was like one shot. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe she's like looks older now, so I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, she's like 17.
I don't know, like. So, like, obviously they're not following the games because the first one wasn't like following the game that much. But like, I guess I'm kind of confused with. I think I'm just kind of confused with where it's going because like the movie has lore implications, but not all lore implications. So like you're trying to figure out like what you can take from FNAF 2. So they're taking the models, but like they're like completely transposing the setting like entirely, like even further than what they did for this. Like this looks more like a kind of Halloween-esque slasher where like where you have like a killer stalk in a neighborhood. It looks like the animatronics have been set free, kind of thing. Which is interesting. And we'll see how it plays.
Yeah,
I don't know. Josh is back as well. That's nice. I really didn't expect him to stay around. I thought he'd move on.
Is that because the games have different protagonists and stuff?
No. Well, actually, that's like a whole big lore thing that was revealed after years. That Mike Schmidt is the same guy that he plays. In all of them. I just thought that Josh would move on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, sure.
Yeah.
Fitzy, you watch this?
Daughter character there is there as well. But yeah, oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure what this actual setup is. Did they show? They kind of showed like a pizzeria kind of thing, didn't they? But like as you said, it was more vague, and was kind of like, more slash vibes as you said. But Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just interesting that like yeah, I don't know. It's like the law reason for why we have like the toy models of the of the characters of the animatronics is I don't know. I'm curious as to see if they're going to be like the same or how they're going to work that into the movie. But it looks fine. It looks like a decent slasher from Blumhouse, which I can trust. So
Sure. Yeah. Is it coming out Halloween again?
I think it's a bit later. I think it's actually a December film.
Really? Oh, why is this trailer so soon then? That's kind of interesting.
It's like 40 seconds, mate. It's like really not much.
Oh, it's really. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, fair. Jaden, did you not watch this Tales of the Underworld trailer out of protest?
Out of protest. You cannot tell me that if Star Wars convention was held in America this year, this Andor trailer and this Tales of the Underworld trailer would have been held for that audience. But because it's in Japan, they're like, oh, we don't give a shit, you know?
No, I definitely disagree with that. But
You disagree with that? No way. No.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I like you have your convention like in literally 2 weeks out, and you can't hold on. You can't sit on a trailer for a couple seconds, mate. Like, come on.
No, I think they want to focus on. So I have a video coming out, plug for my channel soon, that I've already recorded. That then the release of this trailer sort of messed with, unfortunately. But there's not much I can do about that. But it didn't change the prediction much. It didn't change it much. But I think at the animation panel they're still going to reveal the next big show, and because these Tales ofs are basically just little side projects for them. You know what I mean? And they pump. Oh, don't get me wrong, I love them. They're a nice light meal. You know what I mean? That they put out. They're going to put out May 4th, and I think that from their point of view, they're just like, instead of dropping 2 trailers and at the one panel, let's just get this out of the way now. We can touch on it quickly because you all know it's coming out in 2 weeks, and then get to the next thing. You know what I mean? I think that's the thought process. But hey, dude, like if this becomes a tradition, like every year, like they surprise drop, like I mean, I won't be surprised if this keeps happening, but it's like May 4th, new Tales of season. It's like, dude, sign me up. That's great. That's like what a great May 4th present. You know what I mean? Get a night of sitting there and watching these shorts because they're all bangers. Yeah, this trailer was cool though. It obviously came totally out of nowhere. I didn't expect them to go in this direction and cover these. I mean, Ventress makes tons of sense actually as like a character you would cover in one of these anthology series. Cad Bane not so much. So that was the nice surprise.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't even like see what it's about at all.
I saw a screenshot of Ventress that like on the Reddit, and I was like, I don't recognize where this still's from. And then later I saw that there was that they announced a new project, and I saw the poster, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
Sure, yeah. The 2 characters are Ventress and Cad Bane, which is neat. 2 characters I love, so dude, I'm so down for this. This is my shit, so I'll of course watch it. Trailer looked really cool, lots of cool shots and stuff, as is always the case with these animated projects. So we'll be able to devour that in a month. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Now it's time for our highlights of the week. Fitzy, what have you been watching?
I watched Black Bag, Zach. Did you watch Black Bag?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the black bag in the room, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was pretty great. The freaking soft lighting was, very very Soderbergh,
It was, yeah,
very sleek, as Luke said. I mean, the characters are all pretty unique, pretty cool, pretty interesting. The heavy plotting, which I had to call Luke about to just like iron out everything that happened and the motivations and stuff. I mean, it was. I mean, it was confusing-ish, but it was very cool how everything kind of does come together, and just it was perfect, kind of like a mini kind of espionage film, I guess, but all within 2 settings, so an office and that house that they had where they kind of drilled into the characters. So it was very very tight, hour and a half film, and it was great. Fassbender was great. Blanchett was great. And the movie had a theme as well. The movie had everything, dude. It's crazy.
The movie really did have everything. You really can't go wrong with Black Bag, bro.
Yeah, what do you think of Black Bag?
I thought it was sick. What do you think of the runtime? Because, like, if anything, I could have sat there longer, bro. Could have had more.
Yeah. I feel like it could have been a bit weightier, I guess.
Yeah, it felt very.
It would have been like a
breezy.
fine meal if it was like another 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, it felt like a great appetizer's not quite right, but like it felt like a great like brunch or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're not quite the full meal to like really make it a standout cinematic experience, but just a great watch nonetheless.
Yeah. Did you understand the whole plot, or did you have to? I mean, I looked up ending explained, and then I talked to Luke about it.
No, I think I understood it enough. I'm not gonna got it. I'm not gonna be able to. I'm definitely not gonna say definitively I understood all of it, but like I got the gist enough of like the overarching like. Then these people being put against these people, and then that was the trick of those people, and now those people are aligned, and then it's all about, you know what I mean? I got the gist of that part.
Okay.
Yeah. Some other great supporting actors in it, though. I must say, I was impressed by everyone.
What was the name? Industry girl. She was good. Like
she was very good, actually.
The camera girl.
I agree.
Yeah.
Camera girl. Yeah. Yeah, I was very impressed by her. Actually, she was good.
Yeah, I mean Tom Burke, freaking Jack. What was his name? Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Something Jack.
Furiosa, and he did have an Australian accent. Not in this movie.
Terrible in that film.
Oh god. Yeah.
But yeah, Marissa Abella. That's her name. That's the camera girl.
Yeah. She was good. Naomi Harris is like, I think she's like 50 years old. She looks great, dude. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
That's crazy. She was going out with that with what's his face? Oh my god, Bridgerton man. What's his name? I don't know.
Reggie.
Right.
Is he got like a French name or something?
In the movie.
Yeah. And he's like, isn't he like 25 or I don't know how old he is. He's in his 20s, like late 20s maybe. And like, and
the actor's 37, but yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh shit.
But like the character is supposed to be younger, yeah.
Yeah.
In the film.
But like I was saying, the age difference, like, and I just totally bought it. You know what I mean? Like they just, I don't know. She looks great, and he looks great, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a hot cast, yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was also my highlight, so I'm happy with that. Jaden, what have you been watching?
I've been watching Skeleton Crew.
Whoa!
In prep for Star Wars convention.
How much?
I'm 6 episodes in, so 2 more to go. Not much.
All right.
I'm loving it, dude. I think it's really fantastic.
Okay.
Like I just think it like I wasn't overly impressed by like the first episode because I just thought like the suburban setting. I just thought like it was too plain, but then like it was too Earth-like, and I was like, they're not doing enough to make this like anything interesting. But then as soon as I hit space, like it kind of just became like this very traditional coming of age story placed in the Star Wars setting. But I think everything they're doing with it is really fun and cool, and like obviously it looks great, which you said is like is the one thing that you said you can like say is good about it. But like I don't know, well, you were just saying like is like it is a safe show, I guess, but like I don't know, it is just very fun Star Wars. I think I think the characters are quite strong, even though like I was worried that the kids would like annoy me at start, but like I don't know, they do enough footwork and character drama, especially by episode 6, between like Fern and KB, like especially like have some decent drama in like episode 6, or like when they come to heads. And like I don't know, I think it's quite good.
Cool. I'm glad. I'm glad you're with the. You're with the majority really on this.
Yeah, I'd say I'm with the majority. It's just that like I haven't heard much about it other than on Twitter. I like when as it was releasing, I saw a couple things where I was like, oh yeah, Skeleton Crew is really good. But like the main opinion I've been exposed to is yours, where you're like it's just kind of a nothing show. So I guess I can say that I've been surprised by the quality of it. Is what you know. I'm having like a lot of fun with like the beats, like especially at the end of like episode 6, like when the ship sheds its skin, like you know, because like it's all armored. It was armored up previously. And then like it's able to like fly off triumphantly, you know, silver and shining. I'm like, oh yeah, woo! I was like, good on them. And
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think people who watched it enjoyed it. I just don't. It didn't seem to make much of an impact. I don't know.
No,
how many people
I think you're
watched
right in that. I think it hasn't made much of an impact because like now,
yeah,
you're right. Like I haven't heard anything.
I mean, that's got nothing to do with my opinion on it. I think that is separately true.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen much on it. Fizzy didn't know it came out.
Oh yeah. I trimmed it. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a discussion when it was coming out of like how many people are watching this really. But yeah, people who watched it seem to like it for sure. It's funny you say about the Earth stuff. Like I think the production design in episode 1's like some of the most interesting stuff it does. Like,
yeah,
no, I love the look of all the houses and shit.
I think it's cool, but it's just that it was such a familiar suburbia setting, and at that point, I didn't know what they were doing. So I was like,
right. I
was like, is this just going to be like a high school drama, but in Star Wars? I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
sure.
I was like, what's going on here? I was like, it doesn't. I was like, but then like yeah, like once they establish what that planet is, especially, I was quite a bit more appreciative of like, yeah, what's going on there.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think the history is fantastic, and I think what they're doing with like their home is really cool as well. I'm excited to see how it resolves.
Yes, it is cool conceptually. Yeah. All right. Oh shit! I was going to say, let us know next week what you think, but you won't be here. Oh.
No, but I will see you on the one
April
of those. 14th.
Yeah. When we arrive at like, I'm going to be tired at like 9:30 p.m. when I walk in. I want you to right away just tell me what you thought of Skeleton Crew finale. Just make it the first thing, please. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is a film you appreciate which flopped upon release? Andy says, for both box office and critical failures, Guy Ritchie's King Arthur Legend of the Sword is a movie that I surprisingly appreciated after flopping upon release. It made me fall in love with the artistry of digital heavy images and looked like a visually inventive blockbuster when I first saw it on the telly. The way Ritchie shoots the whole adventure just as a kinetic spirit that most generic blockbusters lack all the time. Oh, it just has a kinetic spirit, my apologies. Every bonkers creative choice and action scene just felt right, even if the storytelling wasn't as interesting. Might be the sort of stuff you'd expect from Paul W.S. Anderson. Maybe. Fitzy, have you seen this movie? Oh, you both seen this movie, I think.
What is it?
Yeah.
King Arthur, Legend of the Sword?
Oh, I've seen that cover. Yeah. I haven't seen all of it.
It's the least Guy Ritchie film I've watched. Which is...
Really?
I mean, I haven't seen Aladdin, I guess, but like...
Oh, that's probably the least, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like the one that feels... Like, obviously because of the setting. Does it have like a gang element to it? I can't really remember. He does assemble a bit of a crew, I think, actually. Yeah, it was like decently fun. It's like...
You liked it?
Yeah. But like it's nothing really like special. It's just kind of like... You know, medieval fantasy stuff, like pretty standard.
Is it? Would you say it's fantasy slop?
Yeah, it's fantasy slop.
Yeah, okay. All right. I can be in the mood for that. Dr. Luke said, Violent Night. God, fucking kill me. Great John Leguizamo flick. May not have flopped. I've not checked, but it's a film I appreciated upon release. Yeah, good question. Did it flop or not? I can see it grossed 76 million worldwide. Oh, it surely had a budget smaller than that. God damn. Oh, budget of 20 million, made 76 million. No, not a flop.
No.
Not a flop.
Jeez.
And it has a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. Way too high, but that's okay.
73? Really? I thought it was like I thought like it was a critical failure. I didn't realize that. Jeez.
That's what it says upon release. Has that changed? Rotten Tomatoes. No, it's a 74 now. There you go. Luke, bad answer, because apparently, I mean, actually, to be fair, it's a flop. It's a Zach flop. So I guess in that sense, it's a good answer. But everyone else, Violent Night's apparently a success. So there you go. I dare Luke to rewatch it, though. That's the thing. Willie. Joshua wrote in and said, a movie that I appreciate that didn't go well at the box office is Shoot 'Em Up. It's an underrated action jam with Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci, and Paul Giamatti. Did someone say Paul Giamatti? Man, I need to watch that shit. I hadn't heard of this.
Has Andy seen that one?
That sounds like an Andy movie.
It does.
That's interesting. It sort of sounds like the title Shoot 'Em Up. It sort of sounds like a comedic action movie to me. Not that I have a clue.
Yeah, well, Mr. Smith delivers a woman's baby during a shootout, so I think you're on the right.
Yeah. I was onto something. That's a cool reco right there. Thank you, Josh. Leanne said, The Shawshank Redemption is a movie that I really enjoy. I've watched it so many times. I could recite most of the script. Surprisingly, this highly popular film did not go well at the box office when it released in 1994. An absolute classic movie, some claim the greatest film of all time, is Citizen Kane also. It did not enjoy success at the box office in 1941. There is so much going on in this film that you could write a PhD thesis on the movie and still not do it justice. Every shot and scene is deserving of a detailed semiotic analysis? What does that mean? Oh my God. Leanne dropping big words on me. That's why she's the doctor. Two terrific and very different films that began as failures but eventually claimed respectable places in the history of cinema. That's all for this week from Dr. Leanne. Thank you, Leanne. Do you guys know what semiotic means? Can you help me out?
Is it like language? Semiotics? Like the study of words?
It's serving of a detailed semiotic analysis. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess that makes sense in context. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Those are two terrific films. I mean, I haven't seen Citizen Kane, but I'm sure it's great because everyone says it is. All right. What is a film we appreciate that initially bombed or flopped upon release? Jaden.
So I've got two. The first one's a critical flop because I'm not sure how you can quantify it as a financial flop since it's a Netflix film. Yeah, I think it did have a ridiculous budget though, given that I have a feeling it did. But it's The Bubble, that Judd Apatow film from 2022. That everyone said was like an unfunny piece of shit, and that was horrible. I thought it was really funny. I really enjoyed it. I think the parody of like mainstream kind of filmmaking and like I think the character actors, like the characters that the actors put on are so clearly influenced by people they interact with. And I don't know. I just like it's COVID cinema, and like I think like it's an interesting thing because I don't think we really got much of it, but I think it's important that we did. Like I don't know. I just think it's like it functions well as that, as well as just being a funny movie, and as well. The one that I do have that I have quantitative, facts that it was a flop is Mortal Engines. It's a perfectly serviceable, fantasy adaptation. It just, did not make anywhere near the money that was spent on it. I've seen it once in full, but then I've seen quite a few times, like just like bits and pieces because it was on TV for quite a lot for a little bit of time. And yeah, it's like it's pretty standard fantasy, but like it's pretty serviceable, But yeah, just failed to make an impact.
It sure did. They probably could have done. I assume they would have done sequels and shit, and done the whole thing. Because it's like a series, right?
Yeah. I think it's a series. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a series.
Yeah, but alas, The Bubble had a budget of 100 mil.
No.
Wow, that is astonishingly high.
I kind of figured that given the actors in it. I don't know. I just feel like Judd Apatow makes expensive movies nowadays for no reason. Like he makes
Yeah.
Like it's
that's probably true.
But I mean, like that is a stacked cast in the Bubble. If you haven't seen it,
who's in it?
Actually, maybe it's, I don't know. It's like it's definitely stacked, given like with like little cat like bits as well.
Oh,
But like I don't know. It's like so it's Karen Gillan, Daisy Ridley's in it, Pedro's in it, Keegan Michael Key. I think Maria Malakova is. His daughter is. I don't know. Like maybe not stacked, but like it's definitely like an expansive cast list.
yeah, that sounds decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's decently fun.
Damn, there you go. It has a better IMDb score than Megalopolis, I think.
Oh, really?
Or maybe they might be really close, actually.
Megalopolis has a 4.7.
I think Bubble had a 4.7.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
There you go. My main one, I feel like I answer this a fair bit sometimes, but I've got to answer it again to shout it out, and also because I was astonished by this, but The Last Duel by Ridley Scott, one of the great modern Ridley Scott films, right up there with, of course, the absolute banger that is Gladiator 2. But this film, had it bombed this bad, dude. It had a $100 million budget, and it grossed $30 million worldwide. That is sad. That is sad, dude. Oh my god! And then everyone watched it on Disney Plus like a month later. God damn, that's brutal. I was there supporting it. Were you? I think Fitzy was actually. You saw it. As
I
well.
was. Yeah, I wasn't alone. Remember?
That's right. Yeah. We supported it at Reading's Worn Bonds, but alas, The Last Duel. God. Oh, really? I went to Reading's for that one. Yeah, weird. I don't know. God, that stings, man. That really stings. It's so good. No one gave a shit. I mean, to be fair, it was like a COVID release. To be fair, like I think it was one of the first ones. I think it was like I want to say. Oh no, it was 2021. I don't know. I feel like that we were in and out of lockdown at the time. I don't know if I feel like it was a bit of a COVID release. I could be wrong, but maybe that's part of it. But yeah, Jaden still hasn't seen this film, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
Gotta check it out, bro. Gotta check it out. Preach the gospel of The Last Duel. Vincey, what about you?
Well, I didn't prepare for this question, so I was going to say The Last Duel, but Babylon, it also needs to be said.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
I mean, how did Babylon flop, man? Like, Margot Robbie, freaking Brad Pitt. A Damien Chazelle film as well. Like, he's popular amongst the TikTokers, you know. Like,
that's the thing. Once the Sigma TikTok boys latch on to Brad Pitt's storyline, like this film's gonna find new life.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sad.
God.
I don't know. Like it
only made $15 million at the US box office. What?
Has that put Damien in trouble of his next project, or was he like safe anyway? Because
I don't know.
I think I heard somewhat recently that he's struggling to find a financer.
God, that's brutal.
I don't know if that was true or not. I don't know like what the source was on that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it honestly wouldn't surprise me with how fickle this stuff is, but man.
But like,
imagine making a movie that good, and then you can't.
Imagine making 4 movies that good.
Yeah, actually,
still struggling.
But I think I think it comes down to like the poster and like the mark. Like it gives kind of an Amsterdam feel. Like if I separate it from the movie and just like trying to remember how like my perception of it without seeing the trailer, just like looking at the poster, like it doesn't look that appealing, really.
So it's David O. Russell's fault for making an average film. Then influence people into thinking that this is going to be similar.
But like, wait, Amsterdam flopped, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's like Margot Robbie, Christian Bale. Like, how is that? Maybe maybe because they have these massive actors, like it looks desperate or something. Like it's trying to make up for a bad film or something. But
oh yeah, that's what a weird take. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know why it didn't have wide stream appeal, but yeah, tragedy, modern tragedy.
I mean, to be fair, a fucking elephant shits on the camera like a minute in.
Yeah, but they don't know that before they buy the ticket.
I don't know.
I didn't.
Maybe
That's
they heard
for sure.
about it. Yeah, and then like.
Hey, maybe you might onto something about the marketing, because it is odd that, like, I remember I was against the marketing for the movie. Like, I thought the marketing made me not want to see the movie, and that's coming from a Damien Chazelle fan. So, like, and the movie's awesome.
I think
So, like,
I
I don't
was
know,
going to
maybe
be a bit more
something-
Gatsby-like based on marketing. I don't really remember that.
Yeah. I don't think the trailers did a really good job of really showcasing, like, the scale of the film, like, in terms of, like, storyline and wise and, like, what it's really trying to go for. I don't know. It just kind of felt like hey, look at our big party sequences.
Yeah, but how do you make a convincing trailer to bring in the masses based on, like, those storylines?
I don't know, make it clear it's yeah, I mean, that's fair, but, like, I don't know, at least try and make it clear that it's sort of about Hollywood, it's about the people in the film industry. I feel like the trailers barely did that, to be honest. I'm not saying they didn't at all, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, if they tried to paint it more as, like, an historical period piece about Hollywood and, you know, filmmaking at that time, I feel like that's at least somewhat, that's surely a bit more appealing than what they did. I don't know, but
Chazelle's probably pulled off some of the most striking visuals in, like, the past 10 years in that film, and they've just gone underappreciated.
Totally.
Yeah, he was. I've just got this quote up here. He was asked about how he responded to Babylon flopping, and he said, "I've been sort of busy writing, so I'll get a real taste of how it's changed since Babylon or not. Once I get to finish this script and actually get to make it, I'm in a sort of trepidatious state of mind, but I have no illusions. I won't get a budget the size of Babylon anytime soon, or at least not on this next one." It's probably pretty accurate to say. But yeah, no, I reckon, I don't know. It depends what it is, I guess. But, like, surely someone will give him 30 to 50 mil. Surely
Apple will probably chuck a fucking ton of money at him, to be honest.
that's a good shout. Yeah, we can all watch it on Apple TV Plus. Yeah,
I mean,
Apple does do
money.
Apple. Yeah, that's actually totally true. And they do still do. They are doing theatrical releases for big films as well. So that's probably not a bad shout. Actually.
Wasn't the figure that just came out is, like, they're losing $1 billion on streaming, like, a month? Like, not a month, but, like, not like they've lost, like, $1 billion on, like, their streaming projects.
Oh, I hadn't seen that. It doesn't shock me at all. Yeah, yeah. They're really just happy to fork. I mean, to them, who cares? Haven't they got like $1 trillion in the bank or something, or like several hundred billion at least? Yeah, so they don't care. They'll waste a bill, like, just basically trying. I assume they're just trying to get their, what's the best way to put it? Like, get their foot in the door, or just try and establish themselves basically as a player in the space, and they're happy to waste a couple bill doing it because who cares? You know what I mean? It's interesting. Yeah. All right. As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comment section, or join the Discord server. The specific question we'll be asking you this week is, what is the best anthology series you have seen? Let us know. Fitzy, why are we asking this question, and are we maybe not doing a film next week? Whoa.
No, we are... well, you and I, Jaden may or may not be. Jaden's not here. He's going to be in Japan, and he's not a White Lotus fan. Spoilers: we're doing the White Lotus season 3 of the White Lotus. So, yeah.
Get more excited, bro. Get hyped. Let's go.
Yeah, well, Luke and Andy haven't seen any of this show, so
maybe Josh always, it's
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, epic set, Josh, if you're here, hopefully you've seen.
He's proven he has great taste in stuff, so I'm sure he has seen it.
Yeah, it's in Thailand, and it's about rich families, rich people, satirical commentary on society. So. Yeah.
So there's not many, like, Aussies in, like, Bintang, is there? Oh.
There is a specific gag about this in the season, Jaden. It is unbelievable.
Fantastic.
About old Aussies sitting around a pool, for real. It's hilarious. Wearing, like, singlets and shit. It's so good. Yeah, it felt like Mike White was really targeting us on that one. It was funny, but yeah. Are you're up to date, Fitzy? There's only the one episode left coming out on Monday.
Yeah.
I assume you would.
What are you up to?
I'm up to date. I'm right there.
Oh, wow.
I'm ready.
Nice.
Yep, it's very exciting. Jane, do you plan on smashing Skeleton Crew tonight and then watching all of the White Lotus before you go? So you're caught up.
Could I watch White Lotus on the plane?
Sure. If I don't know. Why not?
Mm.
You could. What a great way to spend the plane ride. Get you in a holiday spirit.
Yeah, I've got 10 hours to China. That's about White Lotus worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, good question. Would you recommend, could he just watch season 3?
I wouldn't recommend it. No. I think season 3 is an acquired. I don't think it's that acquired, but it's a little bit of an acquired.
Oh, you got to test the waters first.
I was also a quote from Mike White saying that it was important for him to move to Asia after the Italy setting. Is that a fact in the show?
Not necessarily, but maybe him making it felt that way. I don't know.
If I was to watch it, I think I'd still would do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I'm not going to True Detective it like you did.
Season 3 does it totally spoils an aspect of season 2, but I just didn't. I guess I was asking how important that would be. Yeah, it is pretty. Actually, it sort of spoils the biggest reveal of season 2. To be honest. So maybe that's not the best idea. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe our regular listeners won't tune in. I don't know, but hopefully, we find a whole new White Lotus audience out there that then come flocking. And then we go on hiatus immediately, and we lose them all. So,
right, any impressions made, gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I appreciate Liam and Jaden for joining me as always. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week, and goodbye.